Okay, so first of all, I just wanted to thank you for being here, for signing up, and for participating in this 3-day journey to remember and honor your own ancestors. I wanted to introduce myself a bit if you are not familiar with me or what I do, what I share here. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll get started with a short little lesson and then a guided experience. So, first of all, I want you, if you're like in the hustle and bustle of your life and you're listening to this, just take a second to calm yourself, take a deep breath and relax and exhale any sort of expectation that you have, and just welcome a curiosity and an open mind to connect and to learn about your own ancestors. Okay. So, I am Megan Hillier. I'm a professional genealogist and I live in Alberta, Canada with my husband and children. This is where I was born and raised, and I moved away and came back and never thought I would, but I did. And I love it. My kids love it here. 8 years ago, I started my schooling to become a professional genealogist, and I graduated about 5.5 years ago with a degree in family history research. As I was learning how to do research, how to do genealogy, I realized that finding names and dates was just a small part of this work. That real power comes from knowing our ancestors, that they are our angels, our guides, our supporters, our cheerleaders, and that when we know them, we can feel them more. We can recognize their wisdom and their strength. So genealogy for me now has become a journey of learning, not just to break down a brick wall. In fact, most of my family research is not that. It's mostly learning about and connecting to my ancestors, learning their stories, learning their experiences, their trials, their trauma, their resilience. And this journey helps me to understand my family, where I came from, and also myself better. But ultimately, it helps me to know my ancestors so that I can have a stronger relationship with them. So I know that some people have a difficult relationship with some of their family. Maybe there are grandparents, great grandparents, or even parents, people in your family tree that have done horrible things, or there's severed relationships, or just hard trauma and experiences that happened that make it difficult to want to connect to them. I just want to invite you to put those people aside for now. Maybe you need to skip over some people in your family tree until you can have some more support, maybe even professional support as you explore those relationships more and learn more about them. Family history work is a powerful work, and sometimes it can unlock things that we might need some more support to work through. So if that is you, I want to invite you just to focus on those ancestors that you feel safe to connect to right now. So I wanted you to know today just what's possible with learning about your ancestors and connecting to them. This is a different training than I've ever done. I've mostly focused on like teaching people how to connect to their ancestors, but I really am excited to add in more of this part of the work to actually know who your ancestors are so that you can connect more to them, so that you can feel their presence more and their guidance in your life. Now, I know some of you watching might already have a huge family tree. You might already have generations and generations of individuals in your family tree and your lineage that other relatives have found or that you have found that are in your family tree, and that is great. But I know that there are also people watching and people that I would want to help that are just getting started, that they don't know much about their ancestors. Maybe they don't even know their great grandparents' names. So I want to show you what's possible. So maybe you don't already have a family tree online and you want some guidance on what to do there. So I'm just going to give you a brief explanation of how to get started, because our homework for today, or our task for today, is to start your family tree. whether that's online or whether that's just pen and paper that you want to start. There are two main websites online, databases online, where you can start a family tree. So one is called familysearch.org. This is not only a research site that has records, but you can build your family tree right on there. Now, the family tree on Family Search is collaborative. So that means that everybody works on it together, which for me, it's been a positive experience mostly. Sometimes you have to correct and fix things that other people have done. Some people have a really hard time with Family Search because of that. A lot of like heavy duty genealogists prefer to use Ancestry or other ways to record their research. But I feel like for most people, Family Search is a great website for building your family tree because you can benefit from other people's research and hard work. You just have to find your ancestor on there, link yourself up to them, and then you have a lot of research that's already been done. Again, it depends where you live. There's some countries that there's just not records available or they're really hard to get. So you have to see what's possible for where you lived. And tomorrow we'll talk a little bit more about that, about how you actually find information to add to your family tree. So the other website that you can use is ancestry.com. Now you can build your family tree for free, but the records on there, there's a few that are free, but most of them you have to pay to have access to them. So Ancestry, you can have your tree as private on Ancestry or public, or you can even invite certain people to collaborate on a tree on Ancestry. So that can be beneficial, especially if you are just starting your research and you don't know for sure if you're getting the right people in there and you want to kind of play around with it before it's like accessible to the general public. So I have both. I have a tree on Family Search and on Ancestry, but I primarily use Family Search when I'm researching just because that's where my cousins, aunts, and uncles, people are working on it too, and so we can work on it together. Yeah, so Family Search is free, will always be free. Everything is free on Family Search, but it is a collaborative family tree. Ancestry, you can build your tree for free, but access to most of the records you will have to pay for. Hopefully that makes sense. I am just going to share my screen so I can show you what the tree looks like on both Family Search and Ancestry, just to give you an idea of what that looks like. So here is my tree on Family Search. I'm viewing it as a fan chart view. So if you are just brand new to Family Search, when you first log into familysearch.org, you have to create an account. It will prompt you to start building your family tree. So you can just start doing that. The further back you go, your ancestor might already be in the family tree. So it will give you an option. It will, if you put in their name, maybe you have their birth year or where they were born, you can put that in and it might pop up with, is this your ancestor? And you can look at that and see if that actually is them, and then you can add them to your tree. But I just want to show you what's possible. So this is my family tree, 7 generations. It goes back farther in a lot of these lines. Some of them, you can see we have some white spots. This is my Welsh ancestors, which is kind of difficult. The collaborative tree for Welsh ancestry has been a bit of a headache because everyone has very similar names, so it's very easy to add wrong information. And the farther back you go, the less likely it's going to be right. But these close ancestors of mine, I know that they're correct. At least these first 5, maybe 6 generations, I know that they're correct. And I'm so grateful for those ancestors, I guess some ancestors, my grandparents, and relatives that have done a lot of this work. So that's what you can do on Family Search. You can build your family tree. This is just a fan chart view, but you can view it in different ways and different toggles here. But that is one platform where you can build your family tree. And there's also ancestry.com that you can build your family tree on there as well. So here's my fan chart on there. You can change the views or whatever. On both of these platforms, you'll have record hints. They'll show up as green leaves on Ancestry. So if you are just starting your tree, be really careful with those record hints. It can be so easy to just add this person in here, this potential person, without even looking at it. Don't do that. That's how people start building their tree and start adding ancestors that aren't actually their ancestors. So You really want to look at it and make sure there's actually a record that's showing proof of that relationship, and that that record actually is showing proof that that's your same family. It can get a little difficult, that research side of things, so we will talk about that a bit more tomorrow. But just want you to start building your family tree today, just with what you know. Okay, so that is what's possible. It is possible to research and find information about your ancestors, to find their story. And then when you find that information from records, you can start understanding more about their lives. So on the call that we did today, I invited people to spend a few minutes just to look at their family tree. So I want you to do that for a few minutes right now. I'm not going to wait necessarily. You can pause this if you'd like and spend about 3 to 5 minutes either looking at your family tree if you already have one, or get a paper and pen out and just start writing out what you know. Start with yourself and build your own little family tree. Add your parents, your grandparents, maybe even your great grandparents if you know them. You can add their name. If you happen to know their birthday or even just their birth year, you can put that in. And where they lived, if you know where they lived, add that in there too. So just spend a few minutes either looking at your family tree and learning about some of your ancestors, or actually starting to sketch out your own family tree on pen and paper. And then once you've done that, we're going to do a guided experience. And this is where I started recording, realized I hadn't been recording when I was teaching earlier today. So I'm going to tack that part on to this. So it kind of starts right into the guided experience. So if you want to kind of settle, maybe take a drink of water, find a quiet spot, a quiet space to sit somewhere comfortable, and then I invite you to watch this guided experience. Okay, so take a deep breath in and relax. Imagine yourself standing in a soft morning light. The air is still and peaceful. And from the edges of this space, figures begin to appear. Your ancestors. Some you recognize, and others you just feel you know. They form a gentle circle around you. Their love is tangible, and you sense their strength, their stories, and their prayers for you. Take another deep breath. Let it out and whisper silently or think to yourself, to your ancestors, thank you. Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for your experiences. Thank you for your guidance, for your courage, and for your faith. Feel that gratitude expand in your chest. Warm and alive. They are closer than you realize. Your ancestors' strength is already within you. Just feel their love and care for you. Take one more deep breath and soak all that love in. And when you're ready, you can come back and open your eyes. All right. Okay. So you should have your workbook, and in that workbook, there are some reflection prompts there that you can take a few minutes to write down right now if you'd like. There's a few empty pages in there, or if you just want to write in your own journal. Some of those questions are like, who comes to mind when you think of the word ancestor? Or maybe who came to mind as we did that practice there? And what feelings arise when you think about the people who came before you? Which qualities, strengths, or stories from your family line inspire you? And what do you hope to discover or feel as you begin learning about them? So you can take some time to do that after we're done here. And then the assignment for today is just to start or revisit your family tree. Start your tree either on Ancestry or Family Search if you haven't already, or if you just want to start with writing it out with pen and paper, you can do that as well. And just add a few names that you know, and then pause in gratitude for each one. Or as you're looking at your family tree, you just choose an ancestor that you'd like to feel more connected to and just start learning about them a little bit today. So I'm so grateful for you coming today and for spending a few minutes to learn about and connect to our ancestors. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking a bit more about how you can learn more about your ancestors, and we'll do another guided practice. All right. All right. Well, thank you, everyone, and we will see you tomorrow.